Love and fear, the only two choices there ever really are. And you may be wondering what on earth that's got to do with business, but in day 26 of The Businesswoman Who Creates Time, that's exactly what I'm going to share with you. I'm Rachael Evans. I'm the founder and CEO at The Real Rachael and the Workshop Whisperer. And I've been here with you the past 25 days sharing insights, strategy, tips, and my thoughts generally on a range of topics. Today, we're sort of moving out of direct masculine oriented business strategy, and we're just going to talk about this concept of fear or love. The only two choices. So we're stepping right back and we're sort of looking more at your state of being and your state of mind than we are how to directly grow business revenue or take a better profit or implement a system for home. What sits behind any of those things is how you are feeling in general and how that dictates your thoughts. And when we talk about love and fear, we are zooming right back out and we are talking about the universe, source, spirit, creation, God, whatever term you would like to use for it. And when love is our overriding thought, which we're all humans, it's difficult for us to sit in love 100% of the time because we interact with other humans. But when we are sitting in a place of love, even if it's just while you watch this video, there's a different feeling, a different way of seeing, thinking, hearing, if you tap into it, than if you sit in fear to watch this video. Fear is your skeptic voice. Fear is your scared voice. Fear is your angry voice. They're also your angry feelings, your scared feelings, your skeptic feelings. Fear can disconnect you from love. That's why if you're in love, there's no fear. And I don't mean in love with someone else. I mean sitting in the space of love, you're not in fear. If you're in fear, though, you're not in the presence of love. You're not feeling love. And if we push this forward just into our daily life in general, when fear is present, we can be angry, sad, argumentative, disconnected, not listening, resolute that we are right and somebody else is wrong. All of the things that take us away from love. And when there's fear, there's unkindness, there's lack of grace, lack of compassion, lack of empathy. When these things are present, and we now come back to talk about business, we often cut ourselves off from vision, from opportunity, from tapping into the potential that we have, that we could access if we were sitting in the space of love. So this might be a little bit too woo-woo or vague for some. It's definitely something I've learned with age and really in the last couple of years. I would not be talking about this stuff if we rewound back to my early 40s. So I'll be 49 next week, and I really only came to understand this in the last 12 months. But the difference that it makes, even when you are not deep down in it and this stuff doesn't ooze out of you in every single conversation, even when you're at my level with it, the differences that I notice. And remember, we're human, so we don't get it right 100% of the time. But what we do get better at is patience, having grace for the circumstances of others and why they might be in fear more than they sit in love. Understanding of what it's like to be in somebody else's shoes. So empathy, while still being able to maintain our own boundaries. So you can express empathy and compassion for why somebody might behave the way they do, but still understand that you don't have to tolerate that behavior. You can remove yourself from it. When we're sitting in the space of love, we are actually our best self and able to give our best to the others in our lives. So in our household, if we're coming from a place of love and not fear, we're more likely to be present with the kids, with our spouse. If we're in a relationship, there's a different vibe flowing through us. Move that into the business. You're going to be a better leader if you're sitting in the space of love and not fear. Fear triggers some of the leadership styles that will result in constant team turnover, in poor financial results, in poor outcomes for your customers or your clients. I can pinpoint with this understanding that there's only two choices, fear or love. I can pinpoint over the last decade where my leadership was coming from a place of fear instead of love. And for someone like me, who one of our 5 values for our company is generosity. So that's something that I lead with. And I believe I'm a very generous employer, spouse, parent, friend. However, that generosity can still mask me sitting in fear. And the fear can actually override the good deeds of the generosity. So I want you to think today about even just the last 12 months. Where have you had issues pop up in business or life because now that you've understood this explanation, you were sitting in fear? They were fear-driven emotions, fear-driven actions that led to disappointing outcomes, whether that was with team members, with the kids, with your spouse, with other family members or friends, or even just the time that you allowed yourself. Because you might have been sitting in fear, you're burnt out right now because you didn't allow time for yourself. That voice in your head told you, no time for you, back to work. Whether that was doing chores at home or working around the clock in your business. I have clients that I mentor who purposely fill their calendar from dawn till dusk because they feel more comfortable and safe doing that than they do at home. Not because there's violence at home, but there's conversations at home that they don't want to have. That's fear-driven. It's compelling an unhealthy work practice in order to avoid an uncomfortable situation outside of work. That comes from fear. So what are a result, an action, a conversation that you recognize was driven because you were sitting in fear? And now that you recognize it, if you had your time again, would you choose differently? And what do you think could trigger you back towards love if there was a next time, rather than staying in fear? Remembering we're all human and we're not going to get it right 100% of the time. But if you're always growing, and that is one of your goals, to always be growing, always be moving towards your best self and to fulfill your potential, it'd be a goal, wouldn't it? Who doesn't want to continue to learn and grow? I know there are some people, but you're luckily not watching my YouTube channel. So, love and fear. The only two choices this year. How do you choose love more? For your being, for your doing, because it's much more peaceful inside and eventually outside. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow for day 27 of this 30-day series. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel and please like this video. See you then.